The movie begins during a major war. A plane carrying a group of British schoolboys is shot down while trying to evacuate them to safety. The crash leaves the boys stranded on a remote tropical island with no adults around. Shortly after arriving, two boys named Ralph and Piggy discover a large conch shell on the beach. Piggy realizes that the shell can be used like a horn to call the other survivors together. When Ralph blows into it, boys from all over the island begin gathering. Once everyone is assembled, they decide they need a leader. After holding a vote, Ralph is chosen as chief. Although Jack wanted the position himself, Ralph gives him an important role by putting him in charge of the hunters, whose job is to find food for the group. Wanting to learn more about the island, Ralph, Jack, and Simon set off to explore. When they return, Ralph announces that they need a signal fire so passing ships can spot them and rescue them. Using Piggy's glasses to focus sunlight, the boys successfully start a fire on top of the mountain. The celebration doesn't last long. The boys become distracted and stop paying attention to the flames. Before anyone realizes what's happening, the fire spreads through part of the forest. During the chaos, one of the youngest boys disappears. The others fear that he may have died in the fire. At first, life on the island feels exciting. The boys spend their days swimming, playing games, and enjoying their freedom. Ralph, however, remains focused on survival. He constantly reminds everyone that they need shelters and that the signal fire must always stay lit. Meanwhile, Jack becomes increasingly obsessed with hunting. Although the hunters fail several times to catch a wild pig, Jack refuses to give up. The thrill of the hunt slowly starts becoming more important to him than rescue. One day, a ship appears on the horizon. Ralph and Piggy are thrilled, believing rescue has finally arrived. Their excitement quickly turns into horror when they discover that the signal fire has gone out. The hunters were supposed to watch it, but they abandoned their post while chasing pigs through the forest. Ralph is furious. At the same time, Jack returns to camp celebrating his first successful kill. The hunters are acting strangely, dancing and reliving the hunt with wild excitement. Instead of feeling guilty about missing the ship, they seem completely consumed by the thrill of the kill. When Piggy criticizes Jack, Jack responds by striking him across the face. Hoping to restore order, Ralph calls a meeting using the conch shell. During the discussion, another problem becomes clear. Many of the younger boys have become terrified of a mysterious beast that they believe lives somewhere on the island. The older boys try to explain that no such creature exists. They ask where a monster could possibly hide during the day. However, one of the younger children suggests that maybe the beast comes from the sea. The idea frightens everyone even more. Later that night, a battle takes place high above the island. Military aircraft exchange fire in the sky while the boys sleep below. During the fighting, a dead parachutist drifts down and lands on the mountain near the signal fire. The twins, Sam and Eric, are supposed to be watching the fire. When they wake up and see the large shape moving in the darkness, they believe they have seen the beast. Terrified, they run back to camp and tell everyone that the monster attacked them. The next day, the boys organize a search party. Ralph and Jack lead the expedition up the mountain. From a distance, they spot the parachute moving in the wind and mistake it for a giant creature. Convinced that the beast is real, they rush back and tell the others what they saw. As fear spreads, the conflict between Ralph and Jack becomes worse. Jack openly challenges Ralph's leadership and tries to convince the others to remove him as chief. The boys refuse, which makes Jack furious. He storms away and starts his own tribe, inviting the hunters to join him. Ralph tries to keep things together by building a new signal fire on the beach. For a while, some boys stay with him. Eventually, most of them leave and join Jack's group instead. Now leading his own tribe, Jack fully embraces his role as a hunter. During a violent hunt, his followers kill a sow and place its severed head on a sharpened stick as an offering to the beast. Later, Simon discovers the gruesome head in the forest. Exhausted and overwhelmed, he experiences a terrifying vision. In his mind, the pig's head speaks to him and reveals a disturbing truth. The beast is not a monster hiding somewhere on the island. The real beast exists inside every one of them. After recovering, Simon climbs the mountain and discovers the dead parachutist. He immediately realizes that the creature everyone fears is nothing more than a corpse, tangled in a parachute. Desperate to tell the others the truth, Simon rushes back to camp. Unfortunately, he arrives during one of Jack's wild celebrations. The boys are dancing, chanting, and caught up in a frenzy. Even Ralph and Piggy have joined the feast. When Simon stumbles out of the darkness, the boys mistake him for the beast. Driven by fear and panic, they attack him together. By the time they realize their mistake, Simon is dead. The following morning, Ralph and Piggy struggle to come to terms with what happened. Before they can process it, Jack's hunters raid their camp and steal Piggy's glasses. Knowing they cannot survive without them, Ralph and the remaining boys travel to Jack's camp and demand that the glasses be returned. The confrontation quickly turns violent. During the chaos, Roger pushes a massive boulder down a cliff. The rock strikes Piggy, killing him instantly. At the same time, the conch shell shatters into pieces, destroying the symbol of order and civilization that once united the boys. Ralph barely escapes with his life. Now completely under Jack's control, the hunters begin tracking Ralph through the island like an animal. He spends the night hiding while they search for him. When they fail to find him, Jack orders the entire forest set on fire. Smoke fills the island as the hunters close in from every direction. Eventually, Ralph is forced out onto the beach. Exhausted, injured, and with nowhere left to run, he collapses in the sand. Then something unexpected happens. A British naval officer suddenly appears in front of him. The massive fire set by Jack's tribe was spotted by a passing warship, which came to investigate. One by one, the other boys emerge from the forest and freeze when they see the adult standing there. The officer is shocked by what he sees. Instead of innocent schoolboys, he finds children covered in dirt, carrying weapons, and behaving like savages. When he asks what happened, Ralph finally breaks down. Safe at last, he begins crying as he thinks about Simon, Piggy, and everything the boys have done. Soon the others begin crying as well. For the first time since arriving on the island, they are forced to face the terrible reality of what they became.